Yesterday morning, a 27-year-old farmer from Chipping Norton climbed into a bright orange McLaren worth £25,000, put his 5-year-old son Oscar in the passenger seat, and drove to his own wedding. 3 years ago, that same man was delivering veg boxes and taking contracting jobs across Oxfordshire for rates that barely covered the fuel. Yesterday, he got married at a 500-acre estate just minutes from the farm where his life changed completely. And sitting at the reception, with Hawkstone beer and cider flowing freely, was Jeremy Clarkson. That detail matters, because just weeks earlier, Clarkson had revealed on national television that he had aggressive prostate cancer and was still recovering from surgery. Even so, he turned up for Caleb's wedding. This is not just a wedding story. It is a story about loyalty, timing, and the kind of friendship that does not happen often. Caleb Cooper married Tia Wilkinson on Saturday, 5th of July 2026, at Merriscourt, a 500-acre working estate just outside Chipping Norton in Oxfordshire. The venue is only minutes from Diddley Squat Farm. If you know this part of the Cotswolds, you already know why that matters. Caleb has spent almost his entire life within a few miles of those fields. He was born there. He learned to farm there. He met Tia there. He found fame there. And now he got married there. Before the ceremony, Caleb was photographed leaving a local pub with his groomsmen, which feels exactly on brand for him. He then arrived at Diddley Squat in that bright orange McLaren, with Oscar beside him in the passenger seat. It was the kind of entrance nobody could ignore. Tia wore a flowing white gown, a tiara, and a veil, with a bouquet of wildflowers in her hands. Caleb wore a suit and a yellow tie. After the ceremony, they posed in front of a tractor, which is probably the most Caleb Cooper wedding photo anyone could have imagined. His Instagram post went up the following morning. Such an amazing day yesterday celebrating our wedding. We both had the most amazing day. Mr. and Mrs. Cooper. More pics to come, don't worry. Within hours, millions had seen it. Clarkson was there too, alongside Lisa Hogan. Other Clarkson's farm cast members were present, and Eddie Hall was photographed at the celebration as well. But Clarkson did more than show up. He brought the drinks. Guests had unlimited Hawkstone beer and Hawkstone cider. That is the kind of detail that almost feels too perfect to be real. The beer came from the farm where Caleb has worked for years, and it was served at the wedding of the man who helped make that farm famous, by the man who owns both the farm and the brewery. You really could not script that cleaner. And Clarkson's presence was not just a nice gesture. It meant something. 3 weeks earlier, in the final episodes of Clarkson's Farm Season 5, Clarkson sat down with Caleb and Charlie Ireland and said he had been diagnosed with prostate cancer. He said it was aggressive, but caught early, and that he expected to be fine. Since then, Caleb has spoken openly about how much that news affected him. He called Clarkson his best mate. That is the part that matters most. What started as a television pairing has become something real. The awkward celebrity and the young farmer who had to keep bailing him out are now 5 years and 5 seasons into a genuine friendship. So when you see Clarkson at that reception, still recovering from surgery, drink in hand, watching Caleb and Tia celebrate, that is not a publicity appearance. That is a friend showing up. Tia Wilkinson and Caleb Cooper have been together for 10 years. They were childhood sweethearts, growing up in the same part of Oxfordshire and building a life together long before television was ever part of it. When Caleb first appeared on Clarkson's farm in 2021, he was already a father. Oscar was born in March that year, just weeks before the show aired. Willa followed in 2023. Ashton was born last August, while Caleb was still harvesting. Clarkson wrote about that moment in his column at the time. He called Caleb the boy wonder and said he finished the field before heading to the hospital. "How farmerish is that?" he wrote. A friend suggested naming the baby after the field Caleb was harvesting when the call came in. The field was called Dead Man. They went with Ashton instead. That is the kind of country life detail that sounds unreal until you realize it is exactly the sort of thing this world produces. Caleb proposed to Tia on Christmas Day 2022. 3 children. A Christmas proposal. Then a wedding in July 2026 at a huge estate in the Cotswolds. It feels like a full circle moment because it is one. This channel has covered Caleb's rise before. He has built a serious business, signed major deals, published best-selling books, and created a real life beyond the show. Long before the cameras found him, he was already working towards something bigger. That orange McLaren is not the point. The wedding venue is not the point. The point is that a young man from Chipping Norton, who once worked for 50 pence an hour, took every chance in front of him and built something real while the cameras were pointed at someone else. Yesterday, he got married. His children were there. His best mate brought the beer. And the whole thing happened just minutes from the field where his working life began. Caleb Down Under is now in production, a 4-part Amazon Prime series following him to Australia for his first major solo TV project and his first ever flight. He said it himself. He spends most of his time with the most traveled man in the world, so he got brave and booked his first trip. Season 6 of Clarkson's Farm has also been confirmed, with production expected in 2027, depending on Clarkson's recovery. Caleb will be there, Charlie will be there, and the farm will still need managing. But this weekend was not about any of that. It was about a boy from Chipping Norton who drove to his wedding in a £25,000 McLaren with his son in the passenger seat, married the girl he has loved since they were teenagers, and had Clarkson sitting at the reception with an open bar of Hawkstone.